Hello everyone, this is the KMN 1971 back again with something a little bit different this week. This is something that I'm going to be calling a comic collection spotlight. It's a series that I'll have going along with my comic book haul series on my channel starting off to show my quote-unquote key issues in my collection. Just an obligatory statement. This isn't me bragging about what I have. There are so many more people on this community that have just such incredible collections. Check out Vin Crew's Comic Book Room video, or you go to Mercenot's channel, and you don't even have to click on his videos. Just look at all of his thumbnails if you want to, and imagine a comic book store with that kind of wall on it. Chad Hagar, Omega Shinryuken, just to name a few. So there are incredible collections out there. But with that said, I'm very happy for what I feel I'm fortunate enough to have. So starting off real quick, a quick correction from my last haul video. In my last haul video, I stated that Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man number 99 was the first appearance of the Spot. I was incorrect. I haven't read the storyline in a while, and a fellow YouTuber named David Brock, or Bratch, was kind enough to correct me. It was actually this issue that's the first appearance of the Spot. So, David, thank you. Community fist bump. Now, so, moving on. So, these issues are going to be fundamentally in alphabetical order. Starting off with Absolute Vertigo, number 1. Preview of The Preacher, number 1. So, some of these books will be reruns of previous videos, but I would say only like maybe 2%. Everything else you'll be seeing in this series you haven't seen before. So, hopefully you enjoy it. So, moving on. Adventure Comics 462. This is the death of Earth 2 Batman. So, as a Batman fan, gotta love that. Gotta have it. And now, some of these books, there'll be minor keys in here, major keys, and keys of that I consider in-betweeners. So, this is All-Star Comics number 58. First appearance of Power Girl. And also All-Star Comics number 69. Kind of the first appearance of the Huntress. Everyone knows the story. This was released the same day as DC Superstars number 17, which is on my want list, but still very cool to have. Now, for the rest of this video, I hope you are all Batman fans, because this is pretty much the rest of the video are all Batman titles. So, starting off, the closest that I will ever get to Batman number 1, this is Batman number 1, the Millennium Edition. They came out with some foil variants to some of these Millennium Editions. So I picked this up maybe last year or the year before. Pretty cool. Batman 180. Nothing really real significant about it. It's just a Silver Age Batman issue that's in pretty good grade. Batman 220. I forget why this was in here, to be honest with you. I think that might be a Neil Adams cover. I'm not sure. Batman number 300. Just an anniversary issue that I could not get through, even with the great Walt Simonson on art. Batman 357, as we all know, the first appearance of Jason Todd. Batman 366. This is the first time that Jason Todd actually dons the Robin costume. Oh, that doesn't work. Okay, Batman number 400. This right here is my all-time favorite anniversary issues when it comes to anniversary issues. This one just had it all. Introduction by Stephen King. I believe Jim Shooter also wrote a commentary in this issue, and it just had a who's who of classic artists involved. And this is when Batman was going through his like quote unquote Dark Knight stage, where the mainstream Batman title was definitely starting to get darker. As you can see with this issue. Classic. Nothing really needs to be said about this. Batman Year One. If you're a Batman fan, if you're a fan of the medium, you should really own this storyline. 406. Oops, I'm sorry. 405. 406. And, of course, 407. Just classic stuff. Alright, let's move some of these out of the way. Batman, 10 Nights of the Beast, 417. Just showing that one again, just because I like the KGBs. Batman 492, one of my all-time favorite Batman storylines, Nightfall. This is actually the Platinum variant edition. Batman 570, second appearance of Harley Quinn in DC continuity, I believe. Batman 612, everyone knows what the deal is with that. When it comes to artists, just for total disclosure, this guy right here, Jim Lee, is probably my all-time favorite artist. And to have him do this storyline, this was the storyline that kind of kept me into comics when I was thinking about getting out. Batman 635, first appearance of Jason Todd as the Red Hood. Batman 655, Kubert variant. I also have the standard version in a long box somewhere with my the bulk of my Batman collection. And I just bought this. I bought this variant basically because, believe it or not, there was a time where Batman didn't come out with many variants. So I ended up picking this one up and the one that his brother did for Action Comics when Jeff Johns and Richard Donner did that Last Son, I believe, storyline. I'm not sure. Another book that I've shown off before, but it deserves to be shown again. Batman number 50, Delato variant. Here we have Batman Family number 1. Only probably fine plus condition, but I'll take it. And I'll definitely take this one. Batman Family number 6, the first appearance of the Joker's daughter. Batman and Robin Adventures number 21. I've shown this book off before again, and I just love the cover, so I decided to show it again. And I believe, I mean, you should be on the lookout for this book. Just a hunch. And we all know that one. Dark Knight 23.4, the Joker's Daughter 3D cover. Okay. Sorry for the delay. Let me get my stuff together again. Detective Comics number 311, the first appearance of Catman. This is probably my oldest Batman comic, and it's in great condition. At least a solid find. Another one of my all-time favorite Batman comics that I have in my collection is Detective Comics number 395, which is the first pairing of the classic Denny O'Neil, Neil Adams creative duo, which is fantastic. Yet another book I've shown before, 468, just showing it for a tip of the hat to the great Marshall Rogers. Once again, a minor book that you can probably find for like $10, $15, but or even cheaper, but I think it's worth having. Starting here with Detective Comics 469, this was a run that went from 469 kind of to 479, and it's kind of revered as one of those classic Batman runs. If people aren't talking about Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams' run, they usually refer to another classic run during the 70s, which was Steve Englehart, which he jumped on writing duties with Walt Simonson for this issue and the next issue, which I don't have, and then eventually was joined with Marshall Rogers with this issue. And this is revered as one of those classic Batman runs. And I happen to agree. So 471, 472, Detective Comics 473. Oh, and as I said, I fundamentally will have this in alphabetical order, but when it comes to big franchises like, say, Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, I tend to lump all of those franchises together in like alphabetical order, starting with Batman, ending with Detective Comics or Batman Miscellaneous. So, yeah, just the reasoning to my madness, just so I don't have those books spread out throughout my collection over, all over the place. It just keeps it easier, and I'm lazy, obviously. Detective Comics 474, the first appearance of the modern Deadshot. And I believe only his second appearance overall. Batman Detective Comics 475. I also have 476, but it's so banged up that I feel I don't feel secure showing it to you guys and ladies. Detective Comics 477. 478, which is the first appearance of the second Clayface. I'm not sure. And the end of the run with 479. Fantastic Marshall Rogers cover. The late, great Marshall Rogers. These out of the way. And the rest, well, actually, Detective Comics 871, the first Scott Snyder penned Batman issue. Or Batman story, excuse me. Now we get to the nitty-gritty. Batman, The Dark Knight Triumphant. Number 2. Oh, having camera issues. Sorry. This, as I've said before numerous times, my all-time favorite Batman story, and the story that sealed my fate in becoming a comic collector for life. Which I have to say, thank you very much. Number 3. And number 4. Here is the Frank Miller variant to Dark Knight 3, The Master Race. As well as the Greg Capullo Black and White Midtown variant, which Greg Capullo, man, he is rocketed to easily one of my top 5 all-time Batman artists, so I had to get that. Another book that I just showed off recently, but deserves to be shown off again, Dark Knight Returns, The Last Crusade, Bill Sienkiewicz awesomeness. Batman, The Man Who Laughs. I'm not sure if this book was still hot or not, but Definitely, if you're a Batman collector or fan of the Joker or both, this book definitely deserves to be in your collection, as well as this one, which it is a companion to. Batman the Killing Joke, #1. Sheer classic stuff right there. I'm having classic Tourette's, but I can't help it. A lot of these books are super nostalgic, and I haven't seen them in a while. Another variant, Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Neal Adams sketch variant. Really cool. The We Are Robin variant that I just showed off last week. And finally, Batman Vengeance of Bane, #1. One of my favorite Batman antagonists. Now, I went through a bit of a top loader phase for a little while, and some of these books, it makes sense that they're in top loaders, and others you'll be like, why is that? But I kind of like them to be like bookends in my comic book box also. So I've shown this one off before too. This is the, well, I think there's, well, I know there's only 3,000 in print. This is Batman Rebirth #1, the Lee Berejamo, I believe. Let me butcher his name one more time. Variant. Love that Joker and Batman cover. It's fantastic. All right, and Batman #1, of course, of the New 52. Classic run. I've been reading Batman for years, and that run stacks up with, you know, the all-time greats. Probably all-time top 3. Batman #1, the Ethan Von Sciver variant. Batman 608, the great Jim Lee second print variant, which that's a fantastic cover. I also own the standard regular cover of 608 too. Of course, you didn't think I wouldn't have that, right? I have this is a very high grade first printing that I haven't even read, but I have a very, like, I'd say maybe VG plus, fine minus, very red edition of this, as well as a second print edition of this, as well as the Millennium edition of this. And this is one of those books, if I can find it at a good price, I just have to buy it because I love it. This is one of my all-time favorite covers also. Batman and Robin #232, the first appearance of Ra's al Ghul. And lastly, Batman Adventures #12, first appearance of Harley Quinn. And I ended up getting that book probably about 2 or 3 years ago, right when we were on the brink of the Harley craziness that is today. So that's all I have for this edition. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you all for watching. Thank you very much for commenting and the new subscribers. And let's try this again next week. Let's hang out, go through my collection again. And I don't know how many parts it'll take to get through this, but it seems like it's going to be pretty fun. I hope you all enjoyed it. Take it easy. Have a great one.